let's turn now to exploring the Shema, discussions on the issues of Trinity. And we'll take just the last, I'm going to only spend very short time here. I'm going to spend maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 max on this. I've got a lot of tabs still opened up, and basically we're finalizing our look on the Holy Spirit. We were working our way through, let me drop down to the very bottom of the page and see this little table that we've been working from. We've got a chart put together by Carm here, and we were working our way 2 weeks ago before we took a break for Hanukkah. We're working our way through this column of this table on the Holy Spirit, using Acts chapter 5 verses 3 to 4, where Peter calls the Holy Spirit God there. The Holy Spirit is called God by Peter because he says if you're lied to the Holy Spirit, then you've lied to God. But we also notice as we read further down to that passage that Peter also says that why are you continuing to challenge the Spirit of God? So it can be really rightly argued that the Holy Spirit is the Spirit of God. They are the one and the same being. But what we're trying to ascertain is whether or not they're different persons, the Holy Spirit being a different person than the Spirit of God, who himself is also a spirit. Or is it just God's very Spirit? And so that's what we've been looking at. All right, what I've kind of challenged us with is the idea that if you take the position that the Spirit of God and passages that mention the Holy Spirit is simply a reference to God's very own Spirit itself, then you're going to likely hold to a view that's more Unitarian in view, meaning you're not going to describe God in terms of personhood. You're likely going to take a position that there's only one God, one being known as God, and passages that talk about the Holy Spirit are simply referencing God's very Spirit. Thus, it's not a person that's being described, it's an attribute or thing of God that's really being described. And thus, it's a part of God that's inseparable from him. Or maybe you think it is separable from him, but nevertheless, it's still his own Spirit. It's not a separate person. But those of us who are Orthodox Trinitarians hold the idea that the Spirit of God is a separate person that's being described in those passages.